Yesterday, I don't know how many of you actually watch my television show. The audience has been growing quite a bit as the number of places that have legalized sports gambling continue to grow, and more people, I think, are seeking out sports gambling-related content. Shout out to Virginia, Michigan, and Tennessee, the last three states that have allowed sports gambling. But we opened up Fox Bet Live with what I thought was a pretty intriguing question yesterday, and it was, who's got more at stake? We know that Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes are both incredibly accomplished. Brady now in his 10th Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes in his second straight. What we don't know is, until this game is over, what exactly is at stake. And I think you can make strong arguments in both directions, and I'm going to make those arguments, and then I'll tell you which one I think is better in terms of which of these quarterbacks has the most at stake. Because if you look in the larger context, certainly, like a lot of times we talk about Super Bowls in the context of the quarterback, because ultimately we judge quarterbacks based on how many Super Bowls they win, and also head coaches. And I think if you contemplate it from a head coach perspective, Bruce Arians has way more to gain at this point than Andy Reid does. Because winning your first Super Bowl as a head coach is a bit like winning your first Super Bowl as a quarterback. You become a made man. It's how we judge people. Andy Reid couldn't win a Super Bowl forever. He won last year. I think it's fair to say that he is going to win multiple Super Bowls with Patrick Mahomes. He now is going to be rewarded for all the time that he put in before he had Patrick Mahomes. So Bruce Arians clearly is the coach with the most at stake. But in terms of the quarterbacks, let me start with Brady. The idea that Brady would have very much at stake is premised on this. He's 43 years old, and he may never get back to the Super Bowl again. And if he wins a title here, he passes Michael Jordan. And some of you are going to be like, well, who cares if he passes Michael Jordan? I think it's kind of a significant marker. Yes, Jordan went 6-0 in finals, but for the modern era, now some of you old heads out there will talk about Bill Russell or people who played in that era. But for the vast majority of my audience, I think most of us, when we think of championships, in basketball, think of Michael Jordan, and in football, we now think of Tom Brady. Tom Brady has now answered the question, who is the greatest football player of all time? I really do think there's no more debate. It's Tom Brady. He's been in 10 Super Bowls. The next highest is John Elway with 5. He's doubled up on anybody else in the last 55 years of playing Super Bowls. That's an incredible accomplishment, the likes of which I frankly don't think anybody, including Patrick Mahomes, is ever going to rise up to again. But what Brady has not done is eclipse Jordan. He's equaled him now with 6 titles in 9 Super Bowl years. Now he has an opportunity to go to 7. And I think at this point, Brady is in competition to be the greatest team sport athlete ever. And right now, I believe Tom Brady is right at the very apex of that. I think you can argue that he's already there, that he has been to 10 Super Bowls now. He is the greatest team sport athlete of all time. What he did with the Bucks would have been like if Michael Jordan had gone to the Wizards and taken them to the finals in the last years of his career. So to me, Brady is on a different level than any other American team sport athlete, basically of the last 40 years of my lifetime. 2 generations. If you presume that to be true, the only real argument you would be able to make in favor of Jordan is if Brady loses this Super Bowl and never goes to another one, you would be able to say that Brady and Jordan finished with the same number of titles. Now, Brady, again, I think going with the Bucks, if you listen to me on the Monday after the NFC and the AFC championship games, I said I thought this argument was over. But the stakes at play for Brady are not about the NFL right now anymore. It's about solidifying his overall standing in the history of American pro team sports. And I believe if he wins this title, he will have shut the door on any argument, maybe for the next generation. Because I just don't foresee anybody else ever winning 7 Super Bowls. I'm not sure we'll ever see anybody else get to 7 Super Bowls, much less win all of them. So that is what Tom Brady has at stake. And that would mean considering he is now competing against legendary all-time status, that would mean that he has the most at stake. We can flip the script. We can say Patrick Mahomes has got the most at stake in this Super Bowl game, because if Patrick Mahomes aspires to one day be the GOAT himself, if he wants to be the greatest of all time in the NFL, then being able to beat Tom Brady head-to-head, even if it's the end of Tom Brady's tenure, would help to cancel out the fact that he lost 2 years ago in the AFC Championship game. This may be Patrick Mahomes' last best chance on a major stage to one-up Tom Brady. And given how young Patrick Mahomes is, if he were able to win his second Super Bowl by the age of 25, he could look out on the horizon, feel very good, frankly, as a pocket-passing quarterback about his chances to play for a decade or more at an incredibly high level, and maybe push it all the way out to 40. If you paid attention to some of the talk this week, Mahomes is already starting to sound a little bit like Brady, talking about taking care of his body, talking about being a fanatic, health fanatic, like Tom Brady has, to allow himself to still be healthy enough at the age of 43 to play in this caliber of performance. So, if you want to build out the argument that Mahomes has more at stake, it's based on, we don't know how many times he's actually going to get to the Super Bowl. Right now, he's getting to play, and I think this is a fascinating question I may unpack a little bit later. The great thing about Brady is you age from the young guy on your team to somebody who is not close at all in age to any of the other teammates. Brady has far more in common at this point with Byron Leftwich, his offensive coordinator, than he does anybody else on the starting offense for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're a different generation than he is. Remember, Patrick Mahomes, who is 25 years old right now, was in kindergarten when Brady won his first Super Bowl. Right now, Patrick Mahomes is young on the Kansas City Chiefs team. But this is a stat that will blow your mind. Travis Kelce is the same age as Rob Gronkowski. Gronk is not old, but because of all the injuries that he's had and all the big games that he's played in his career, we think of Rob Gronkowski as being older than he is because he already retired and came back out of retirement. But Gronk has been healthy enough to play in every game so far this year. And Kelce doesn't seem like he's anywhere near beginning a decline. But if Mahomes is going to win at the same level as Tom Brady, he's in a little bit different of a position because his coach is older at the start of his tenure. And the players like Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, who are such integral parts of the overall dominance of the Kansas City Chiefs right now, are going to have to be replaced with players of similar caliber in order for the Chiefs' offense to continue to perform at a high level in the years and years ahead. We don't know how many years this trio of Mahomes, Kelce, and Tyreek Hill has to perform at the absolute apex of their abilities where they can all be affordable under the salary cap. Maybe there will be other wide receivers and other tight ends, running backs galore during the course of Patrick Mahomes' career that will be equally as talented as these guys, but we don't know that that's going to be the case. And so if you are trying to become a multi-time Super Bowl winner, I don't know how many opportunities Patrick Mahomes may have. We talked about this last season when Mahomes got to the Super Bowl, and we said, yeah, look, if he loses the Super Bowl, he'll probably get another chance. But if we had been doing sports talk radio back when Dan Marino made the Super Bowl, we all would have said, oh, Marino will be back. Even though he lost this Super Bowl, he'll have another opportunity to win. It never happened for him again. So being able to win a second Super Bowl by the age of 25 puts Patrick Mahomes in an incredibly rarefied air. Elway, Montana, Peyton and Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger. These are the guys who have won multiple Super Bowls in the last generation, obviously Brady as a part of that as well. There just aren't very many of them. And so winning the first Super Bowl puts you into an elite category. Winning a second Super Bowl, which Patrick Mahomes would do by the age of 25, puts you in basically a guaranteed Hall of Fame status. There is no longer any doubt that even if Patrick Mahomes suddenly had his career come to an end, or even if he decided, I'm not intrigued by the sport of football anymore, I want to find something else to do, he would still, I believe, be a Hall of Famer based on his performance in this short of an amount of time.